Okay, so equations. Equations are when we have an equal sign. So maybe we have x plus 3 equals 10. And maybe we want to solve that equation, and maybe you know how to solve it, and maybe you don't. We're not really going to talk about that too much right now, but x would be 7, right? Because 7 would make the statement true. An equation like this, where it has a variable, it's not necessarily true or false. It depends on what the value of x is. In this case, if x is 7, it's a true equation. If x is -8, it's not a true equation. Okay, but equations have equal signs. Formulas don't always have equal signs. I mean, sometimes we have things that are called formulas that are not equations. But for the most part, and for our purposes right now, they're going to be equations, but there could be a lot of variables, okay? So let's think of a formula you might know. The area of a triangle. The area of a triangle is 1/2 the base times the height. Maybe you remember that formula, maybe you don't. But it's based on 3 different variables here. Area, the base of a triangle, and the height of a triangle. And in fact, you might even want a picture of a triangle, and then this is the height, and then this is the base, so you'd know where everything is. Now, if I knew the base and the height, I could figure out the area. If I knew the area and the base, I could figure out the height. And if I knew the area and the height, I could figure out the base. Okay, so we have an example of using a formula. So a right circular cylinder, that's like a can of soup, or this shape right here. There's a picture of one. It has a radius r. Now the picture is probably too little, but that's the radius right there. So you've got a circle on the top, like a can of soup, circle on the top, circle on the bottom. And then the height, that's this part, how tall the can is. Well, if you wanted to figure out the surface area, by that we mean, say you wanted to wrap your can of soup in paper, how much paper do you need? How much area is that, okay? So it says a right circular cylinder with radius r and height h has a surface area s, and area is in square units, so square inches or square feet, or something like that. And they give us a formula. We don't have to know the formula, they give it to us, okay? So here's our formula. I'm going to write it down. Usually if they give you a formula, you're going to want to write it down. So the surface area is equal to 2 pi r times r plus h. Now, I could go through and make a long video and tell you where that formula comes from, but I won't. Okay, it says find the surface area of a cylinder with a radius of 6. So they tell me r is 6 inches, and a height of 9. The height is 9 inches. And then it says, now this is kind of important, leave the answer in terms of pi. Okay, so we did a problem like that earlier, but we're going to figure out the surface area. 2 pi, and then the radius is 6, and then the radius is 6 plus the height, which is 9. So you might want to use brackets in there. I don't know if that would make it a little bit easier to see. Okay, order of operations. By the way, all of this is multiplication right there, so I'm going to make that 12 pi. Maybe I don't want to do that. And then 6 plus 9 is 15. I don't want to do that. In fact, I'm going to rethink this. I'm going to make it 2 pi 6 times 15. And I don't think I like that either. Okay, that's okay. I was thinking there was going to be an easier way to do the multiplication. And these are all S. This is all the surface area here. All right. Let's see. Okay, so 6 times 15 is what? 90? Yeah, that's right. And then 2 times 90. I was thinking that math was going to be a little bit easier to do. Well, so I get 180 pi. I know that I can get a decimal approximation for that because I know what pi is approximately, and I have a button on my calculator that'll do that. But remember, the answer, or the direction said, leave the answer in terms of pi. So they don't want you to multiply it out. They just want you to put 180 pi. Now, you should put the units on it. and it would be square inches. So you can either write that, oops, as square inches like this. You'll see that like if you go to buy carpet or something at Home Depot, they'll write out, usually they write SQIN for square inches, or you can put inches squared like that. So either way. Okay, but 180 pi square inches.